Welcome back to the halls of Colormancer, everyone! I am the MoeChicken, and this is it. We are Battle Kid. We are here to fight, to stop these Colormancers. They are magicians who bend color to their will. They use color as a weapon. A deadly, deadly weapon. They also have timed defenses like this. And we will have to subvert them. Yes. So we were in the, I guess, third part of the game. Namely, we are going after the third boss, Miss Cleo. Miss Cleo, the Colormancer. I am not looking forward to the fight. Like, Cleo was hard even on easy. Even with the damage amplifier, Cleo was really hard. And I think Cleo is a good example of a boss in this game where, like, if you get the right pattern, you win. If you get the wrong pattern, you lose. Which, you know, I have my complaints about. I feel like with a video game boss, you know, you should be able to, if you know the boss's attack patterns, you should be able to circumvent them. And I mean, it is true if you know Cleo's patterns, you can circumvent them. Oh, hang on, give me a sec. I have to actually pay attention to this one. Whoa. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay. Oh, it's so stressful. Off. Go. Off. I can't imagine. No! Doggone it. Now I have to go do all that again. Ugh. I can't imagine what speedrun of this game is like. Like, I would assume, just based on the way the speedrunning community works, that there is probably a no-death 100% speedrun of this game. Because I'm sure there is. I imagine someone did that. But it must be crazy. Must be crazy. So Cleo, okay, so to kind of give you an idea of how she fights, she just kind of moves from one side of the screen to the other and has a collection of 6 attacks that she will use randomly. So she basically changes color, and every time she changes color, she uses a new type of attack. And what color she changes at any particular time is random. And frankly, some are easier to deal with than others. Like, you'll see it when I fight her, but the green attack is, in my opinion, the hardest. So, yeah, and so like the time I think the time I beat it before, doggone it. I got distracted, sorry. The time I beat her the first time, she just didn't use green. And so I didn't have to deal, she didn't use her most powerful attack, and so I was able to beat her, you know? It's like, that's not great. I feel like, you know, a game should, you know, it shouldn't just be that, oh, well, the algorithm worked out for me, so I guess I win. I don't know. That's not player focused. That's just luck. So, not wild about Cleo, but we'll see. There are 2 bosses like that. There's one later on as well that just kind of like, if she uses a move that is hard to avoid, you just probably are gonna lose. Ooh. Okay. Yep. Blap, bap, 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 bop. Whoop. Oh, I thought it was the next one over. Like, this is it's not a very hard obstacle to circumvent, but like, you start to Well, that one was just dumb. You start to become your sort of worst enemy just because you get stressed out. Like, this is a game that you can definitely get tilted in, and I would recommend that if this game looks like fun to you, and you start to feel like you're getting tilted, just take a break. It's got passwords, just take a break. Come back later. And what I would find is that, like, whenever I would do that, hang on. I can actually pay attention, give me a sec. Whenever I would do that, I would always come back to it excited, because I'd be like, okay, I want to give it another shot. And I think that's a sign of I think that's a positive mark in terms of this game. I think it's great that, like, you know, the player is invigorated to try again after taking some time off. And in fact, I would say that in that Game Grumps playthrough that I mentioned at the very beginning of this series, yeah, I think even Aaron mentioned that, like, if he was playing this on his own, he'd just kind of, like, stop for a little bit and come back. And he would probably enjoy it. But it's just the fact that he was kind of like, I'm doing an episode, I have to do it in one sitting, that made it frustrating. Oh, ow! Nuts again! Nuts again. Actually, on that subject, that reminds me of Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, which was another one of those kind of, like, famous rage games of the time. That, interestingly enough, like, I think that this game is a pretty good exemplar of what Bennett Foddy was talking about in that game. Namely, this idea of, as the game designer, I don't want to make it easier. Because... well, that was stupid. that was dumb. I just shouldn't have turned around. As the game designer, I don't want to make the levels easier because I believe that the player can improve. Like, I believe that this scenario is fair. There's nothing about it which is, you know, subversive or hidden. It's very clear what you're supposed to be doing, and you just need to do that. And that's how this game operates a lot. Because, like, you know, the game doesn't scroll, so every screen is... I'm gonna die. Every screen is a very specific challenge, and you just intend to overcome that challenge. And that's why I think I also mentioned earlier on that there are only a few areas in this game that I would actually say are troll-like. One of them is a place where, like, if you jump straight up onto a screen, like you're exiting from a lower screen to an upper screen, if you just jump too long, you jump in spikes. That's not great. You know, there's no way to know that's going to happen. What's the other one? There's another one that's sort of like that, where you just you're doing like a standard screen transition, and if you do so without knowing to jump immediately, you die. That's not great. But there isn't too much of that in this game, and that's why I would say it's fair. Okay. Getting kind of tired of this screen, so I won't get past it. Alright, give me a sec. Dot. Whoa! Alright. Nope. You can tell when I'm focusing because I stopped talking. Oh, gosh. Oh, shouldn't have done that. Oh. Okay. We did it. Oh boy. Alright, now we get to fight Cleo. Alright, here we go. So welcome to Cleo's room. There's Cleo. So she jumps from one side to the other. Pink is the same as the other Colormancers in the area. Just kind of makes those shots. Red makes these little fires. Well, hexagons, I always call them fires. Blue is ice. Ah, dang it. You just kind of have to learn her patterns and just pepper her with shots whenever you can. And unfortunately, unlike the other bosses, because she's constantly changing colors, you don't really know how well you're doing against her. So it's hard to even know, feel like you're making progress. Ugh. That's what green is. It just drops like stars on your head. And actually, if you look at all the little the things in the background, you can see what's going to be. So, like the green stars in the upper right. Purple is those shock waves. Yellow drops lightning from above. And I think that's the only one we haven't seen. Yeah. But yeah, I always love when I see her turn pink, because pink is by far the easiest for me to deal with. Well, she was turning green anyway, I was gonna lose. She was turning green anyway, I was bound to lose. Green is the worst one. Well. One thing that makes this game a little bit harder for me is that I have a tendency to jump into shots in games. Like, I had a friend watching me play a game one time. He's like, why do you keep jumping directly into the attacks? And I'm like, just because it looks like a thing I can collect. It's like I see it, and my brain's like, ooh, shiny coin. And I jump straight at it. So it's a bit of a challenge playing games like this, but hopefully I can win. We'll see. Ooh. Ah! Dang it! Green is the hardest! I hate green. I mean, I love green. Green's actually one of my favorite colors, but I hate green. I hate green magic. Actually, that is also not true. I like green magic from video games. Ah! Green magic was the, in FF12, that was the status ailment, and barrier magic. So I like green magic. Whatever. I don't like her green magic. Miss Cleo's green magic? Not cool. I don't like Miss Cleo's green magic. Oh, this is the hardest boss in the game, I think. Oh, yes, more pink, please. More pink, please. Come on. Curse you, Miss Cleo. Ah! See, right there, if I just stayed on the ground, I actually would have been fine. What I'm doing right here is the essence of fighting bosses in this game. A lot of, like, one more again. A lot of that in this game for the bosses. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Bad positioning. Bad position. Also, I apologize that I keep clearing my throat. My throat's a little rough because I had a bout of food poisoning last night, which was never fun. So it's frickin' green! Frickin' green! It's a little rough, so I apologize for that. We's gonna beat Miss Cleo. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We just gotta get a good, we gotta get a good pattern for her. Haha! I finally dodged green. Like the only reliable way I found to dodge green is to just do like this, where you're like dut 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 dut. Because if you move too fast, you'll get cornered when she's using it. Because she always spits out the same number as you might expect. Well, that was just dumb. That one was just dumb. You just kind of have to, I don't know, figure it out. But I would still say that Cleo is the hardest boss in the game. And that's even including the final boss. I would say the final boss is not as bad as Cleo is. And mostly it's just because, for her, it's just because everything's so fast. And you have very little time to react to her color changes. Plus she's constantly like switching sides on you. So there's that too. Alright, tell you what, we're gonna do 3 more in this episode. If I don't get in 3, we'll have to wait till the next episode to fight more Cleo. Miss Cleo. Also, kind of a fun thing about Miss Cleo, like you'll see it later on in her little portrait. She's got like an adorable, there's one. She's got an adorable little bow on her head. It's actually kind of really cute, if I'm being honest. You can't really see it in her sprite super well, but she's got like a little bow. It's very cute. Ow. Frickin' green. We haven't even seen yellow yet now that I think about it. Alright. That's 2. One more try. Will I get it? There's yellow. Alright, successfully done. That's it for this episode. In the next episode, I will try and find Miss Cleo some more. I am the MoeChicken, this is Battle Kid, and thank you for stopping by. And Colormancer sucks! Yeah! That's right.